Are you struggling to get your emails inbox? Let's face it, open rates are down, clicks are down, and sales are down as well. The truth of the matter is, there's an endless battle going on between the spammers and the ISP companies for several years already, and we, the little guys, are caught in the middle of it. So what's the solution? In one word, Sendgrid. Sendgrid offers world-class deliverability expertise to make sure your emails get delivered. You don't have to pay a lot of money for third-party tools that can provide deliverability expertise. Sendgrid makes everything available. So if you're not using Sendgrid yet, then you're missing out big time. I've created a step-by-step video series that shows you how to get better inboxing with Sendgrid starting today.
Hello and welcome. You are now looking at Sendgrid.com. Sendgrid.com is an email service company that makes getting transactional email to your customers at the point of their purchase a priority. The company maintains standards and deliverability as one of their unique selling features, and they serve companies of all sizes and reputation. In addition to transactional email, the company does provide autoresponder services, allowing you to send both broadcast and automated emails. The company is GDPR compliant and has made preparations for those that use its services to also be in compliance. Now, in this course, we'll focus on both transactional email as well as customer-centered email. And we'll do that so that you can leverage its technology and capability in consistently getting email into the inbox of your customers. In the first video, we'll discuss plans and pricing. And we'll also discuss all the most important account settings you'll need in order to set up Sendgrid with any service in order to get transactional email into your customer's inbox. And it's quite possible you may want to use its services for autoresponder related activities. And we'll cover this also. Also cover some of the technical issues such as suppressions that will help you to continue to maintain your deliverability. We'll also cover ways for you to make sure that your account remains secure with those who have permission to use your account. And lastly, we'll look at some of the statistics available to you that will help you to track how well your emails are doing and what you can do to correct those things that you'd like to see go better. Hello and welcome. If you have an existing Sendgrid account and you are looking at the pricing page, you might find that what you have looks differently than what's being presented on the page. For example, if you have an older plan, you could have what's called the free 12K plan, which is $0 a month, allowing you to send 12,000 transactional emails every month. If you don't have that plan, you'll notice that when you come to the page that there is an essentials plan and it says it's $9.95 for 40,000 emails in a calendar month. Now, if you are going to have transactional emails in excess of 100 emails per day, you may not need to sign up for the paid plan. So for example, if we come to this page, you don't have a Sendgrid account, and you click this link that says try for free. It's going to allow you to set up the trial account at 40,000 emails. However, you aren't going to need to put in a payment account for the setup. So once again, you'll only need to pay if you go over the 100 email threshold every month. Now, if you intend to use Sendgrid for marketing, you'll note that at the $9.95 plan that you can store 2,000 contacts. That means that you're going to have 2,000 names that you can send marketing emails to. However, if you're starting with more contacts, you can adjust up the estimate bar and you can find out how much Sendgrid is going to cost you every month. So for example, if we were to move this up to 15,000 contacts, then your price would be 15,000 contacts at $20 plus the $9.95, allowing you to send 40,000 emails every month. So you'll be able to know exactly what your pricing is going to be based on what you're going to be doing with Sendgrid. Again, if you're just going to be doing transactional email, you probably won't need any contacts. You can bring this down to 0. And you'll note that this will be $9.95. Again, if you go over the 100 email threshold on a daily basis. So to get started, click the Try for Free link. And what you'll need to do is to set up a username, a password, and then an email address. And you'll be asked to confirm that email address and then set up your account. Once you set up your account, you'll be at the dashboard and you'll be ready to start working with Sendgrid. Welcome back. Now, when you first set up your account, you're going to want to make sure that you verify by sending your email so that you can confirm that you were the person that started the account. Once you do that, you'll come to the dashboard, and what you're going to want to do is go to the settings area, and you do want to verify your plan and billing. And if you click inside of that link, you're going to notice that the plan is that you're going to be able to send 40,000 emails for the first 30 days. And if we click change plan, we'll be able to look at the plan, and you'll notice that you have a free plan that you can send 40,000 emails for the first 30 days and then 100 free emails every day thereafter. Now, by default, Sendgrid gives you a usage limit so that you'll be able to know when you're reaching your threshold. So if you go inside of this gear and you click edit details, you'll notice that once you've reached 90% of your limit for the current billing period, Sendgrid is going to then send you an email. Now, of course, you can delete this update, but this is a good update for you to keep so that you'll know if you're reaching the point at which you're going to have to pay. Now, you can set up other alerts. So, for example, if we click New Alert and we select the type, we can set up a status notification alert. We can set up the status notification on a daily basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis. And we can set that status notification up to a specific email. So this will tell us exactly where our account is on a regular basis. In the settings area, you'll notice that you have API keys. You'll be using these to connect with other services such as WordPress and ClickFunnels if you want to use Sendgrid to connect to their email transactional system. You'll also have a mail settings area. And we'll be working with these mail settings when you get ready to, again, connect Sendgrid to a specific service so that your clients get transactional emails. So for the bulk of the course, we'll be working within these menus to set up Sendgrid so that it connects with just about any system to give your client the notifications they need in a particular purchase or transaction. We'll pay particular attention to this white label area because this is what will give your transactional email the highest visibility, and we'll be covering that in a separate video. Hello and welcome. You are looking at the inside of a website built with WordPress. And if we go inside of this link, this is a particular membership script that works with WordPress. Now, by default, plugins like this work with the mail settings on your existing server. And that can cause a problem with getting emails delivered for important emails like registration, lost information, new member notification, and unsubscribe. And even if you don't use this service with your WordPress installation, in most cases, the plugin or theme will work with the default settings for your existing server. You may be working with an online web application like ClickFunnels or some other membership program that does send out transactional emails that will actually require you to have an email service so that you can ensure deliverability. And in those cases, you're working with an internal management system called SMTP, or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This will keep you from having to rely on your program or your installation's usage of cron jobs, as well as queued emails. So whenever possible, you want your web application or installation to rely on an outside sender, which will help with deliverability as well as issues of throttling. And so one of the main functions of Sendgrid is to help you to send effective transactional email, which is account-related activity when you have or you're administering some kind of web-based system. And so you're typically talking about password emails, system notifications, and email verification messages. So what we want to do now is to configure the settings area so that you'll be able to connect with any web-based application in order to send transactional email. We also want to do that in a way that you'll be able to manage with a partner or alone and to have a secure account as safeguarding data is more important than ever. Hello and welcome. Now, in this video, we are going to start by creating transactional email templates. When you're in your dashboard, if you go to the left side menu and you click this drop down arrow, you're going to see in the template area that you have transactional marketing. You're going to click transactional. And then that will open up into this screen and you'll be able to create a template. You want to click that button. Now you want to give this template a name, and then you're going to click Save. What you've done first is you've created now a template group, as this message says. You're now going to click Add Version. Now, if you don't know HTML code, you probably will not be using the code editor. You want to start with the design editor, or what you see is what you get. We're going to click Design Editor. And then we're going to click Continue. What we're going to do first is we're going to click this drop down arrow of template settings. We're going to give the template a name. We're going to give the email a subject. We're going to write it between these two percentage marks. What you can then do is write an email pre-header. And this is going to be the small amount of text that you can see previewing what's going to be in the email. You can dictate what that's going to be. And what you've done is you've configured the template settings. What you can do now is you can click the Build button, and then you can begin to add modules that reflect what you want to have inside of your email template. And you can click anywhere inside of the template to activate the modules. So for example, if we click this button, you'll see then that we get the text module. When you click inside of this area, you're going to see the actual set of settings and content that you can alter. You can add in other modules, such as a button. What we're going to do is drag and drop this button inside of the area. And now we have our button text. If we click on top of that button text, we can change it. We have all of our information in this area to change what the button is. We want to change the button text. We want to have the URL. We can do that here inside of this box. And so basically we can use any one of these blocks to design our template in the way we want it to appear when the individual gets it. We can design the email body in terms of color. We can design any content container. So we have full latitude over what we can do inside of the template to make it look the way we want. We can then preview our template by clicking this button. And we can then save our template by clicking the top button. Once our template has been saved, we can then go back to the main menu. And once the template is completed, you can then use one of three methods in order to make it part of your email. You can use the SMTP relay, or you can make it part of your template inside of the API. Hello and welcome. Now, in setting up Sendgrid, one of the most important things that you can do is to white label both your email and your domain. And you'll see that there is a menu hint item, or you can go to the left side menu and you can just click white labels. And the overview explains the difference in plain English. So in the non-white label example, your client will get an email, and the email will have a header that says that it has been mailed by Sendgrid.com. Now that means then that that email will be easier to filter out, or to filter into either spam or into a promotions tab. However, when you do the white labeling process, your email will reflect the fact that it's being sent by your domain. And so you want to be able to use Sendgrid in a way that any email that gets sent through your web app actually reflects your domain, even though you're using Sendgrid to improve deliverability. So the first process to undertake is to white label your domain. And to do that, you're going to click Add Domain. And what you're going to do is you're going to give your white label domain a subdomain, and then you're going to write in the domain name in this space. You're then going to click the default white label, and then you're going to click Save. Now Sendgrid is going to give you a warning message that says your DNS record must be validated before the white label setup is going to be complete, and sometimes that can take up to 48 hours before the changes are updated. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click Confirm. Now if you work with a virtual private server, you can typically copy this information, and then you can give this information to your host for them to enter it into your DNS records. However, if you are managing your own domain and hosting, you are going to want to enter into your DNS records to enter this information. Now, once you've verified through the host that you can enter this information either into your cPanel or your Softaculous, you'll want to go into your zone editor. And you can add in the CNAME records by clicking this link and adding them one at a time. Now before we start the process with the host, we're going to go through the second white label process, and we're going to click Email Links. And what this will do is add a CNAME record based on the subdomain you set up, and it will mask your open and tracking links, which you are going to want to do. So you're going to click Add White Label. And again, just as we did with the domain white label, we're going to add another subdomain here in this area. We're then going to click Save. We're then going to want to take this information just as we did with the domain white labeling, and we're going to want to put this into the CNAME record inside of our cPanel. Or again, if you are working with a virtual private server, you have managed hosting, you can just pass this information to their host and they will take care of this for you. And so you'll see this information inside of our service request with the virtual private server. And once you've entered the information or sent it to your host, you'll wait for a period of time. In some cases, it does take 48 hours for everything to propagate. In other times, it'll take much less than that. You can come back, and what you'll do is you'll come to this Actions gear and you'll click the Validate button, and then you'll make sure that you get 2 green check marks here. If you want to check the inside and click View, you'll see that all 3 areas are going to be validated. And the same is going to be true in the links area. If you click View, and you'll see the 2 green check marks, meaning that these have been validated. Welcome back. We are now going to go into the settings area, and you'll want to click this link that says Mail Settings, and you're going to see Select Settings in this menu. Right now, we're going to look at the footer menu. Once we're inside of the footer, we're going to click the Edit button. And we're going to define what we want our footer to look like. And once you've defined what you want your HTML emails to look like, you're also going to want to do the same thing for the text version. And once you've done that, you'll then click Save. Then, in order to begin using your custom footer, all you'll need to do is to click this On button. And your custom footer is now activated on your Sendgrid emails. Hello and welcome. When you are working with a web application that is using Sendgrid in order to send emails, you are going to want to work with the event notification settings so that Sendgrid will report the information back to the web app, and you'll be able to analyze the results of your email sending. Now, if you click inside of this area, you'll notice that there are a couple of settings. In particular, you're going to notice that there is a post URL. Now, this is going to be the app that you're working with. Now, currently, you can only work with one app at a time, so you're not going to be able to do multiple apps posting to a particular address. So, for example, if we click the Edit button, you'll notice that there's room for one URL that you're going to write in here. And typically, you're going to get this information from inside of your web app that'll tell you how you're going to connect to either Sendgrid or your email server. Now, when you scroll down, what you're going to notice is that there are some specific settings that you'll want to report back to the web app. Now, in this case, we're using one for ClickFunnels, and so what's being reported back are the dropped emails, bounced, unsubscribed from, and marked as spam. Now, you may want to keep more than that information. Again, all for tracking purposes. When you've chosen the ones that you're going to want to keep, what you're going to do is you're going to click this test integration button to make sure that your connection is working. When you click that link, what's going to happen is you're going to get a message from Sendgrid saying a sample notification will be sent to your endpoint shortly. And you go ahead and get rid of that. And once you have a blue check mark here, that means that everything is clear and you can click the save button. You'll want to make sure that your event notification then is turned on to be used. Welcome back. Now, it's quite possible that you will be using a certain email or a certain domain of emails for testing purposes. If that's the case, you want to make sure that that email is never suppressed. And you can do that inside of the address whitelist settings in Sendgrid. And all you'll need to do is to go to this options area, and then you'll need to edit. And you can either write in the particular email that you do not want suppressed, or you can write in the entire domain of emails so that those emails will always appear in those that you are sending. Another setting of note is that you can BCC an address for every email that is sent. So if you want to have one or record sent to your support, or you want all emails archived in some way, you can do that with the BCC setting. You'll just click edit and then you'll write the email where you want this email sent. If you get spam reports, you can have those spam reports forwarded to you. All you'll need to do is to come inside of this area, you'll click edit, and then you'll give a forwarding address and then turn this section on. Now, it's quite possible that you already have an HTML template that you like to use for your transactional or your marketing emails, and you may not have the wherewithal to have this programmed by someone. If you have the HTML and you can place the source inside of this panel, you can use this template and have it customized for all of your marketing emails. And once you've customized all of the settings, you're ready then to connect with your web application in order to start sending transactional email. Welcome back. Now, in addition to being able to send transactional email, Sendgrid has a marketing section, and this marketing section of links is designed to help you to use Sendgrid as a traditional autoresponder. In fact, there's an entirely different dashboard showing you results of your marketing campaigns when you use Sendgrid in this way. You are allowed to keep contacts in Sendgrid in order to send email with all the features of advanced autoresponder services, including segmentation and A/B testing. So in the next series of videos in this course, we will set up your marketing campaign using Sendgrid, as well as delve into the advanced elements of using it. We'll then take a look at factors that are going to be common with the transactional emails, such as statistics, activity, and suppressions. And although the logical place to start would seem to be the campaign section, we're actually going to start by setting up your unsubscribed groups, as that comes first. We'll also cover the template section, which is separate from the transactional email templates. Welcome back. Now, in this video, we're going to start the process of working on our marketing campaigns. But before we do that, we're going to set up unsubscribe groups in Sendgrid. And you won't find it in the marketing campaigns menu. What you're actually going to do is scroll down to the suppressions list, and you're going to click this last link that says unsubscribe groups. When you get to the unsubscribe group screen, what you're going to do is you're going to click create new group. Now, what you're doing is you're going to be uploading your unsubscribed names to this section so that you make sure that the people that are going to be part of your email campaign, they don't get emails if they have previously said to you that they did not want to subscribe. We're going to click create new group, and we're going to give this group a name. Now you can choose to make this your default group. And again, what's going to happen is as people unsubscribe, they're going to be added to this group so that your emails from Sendgrid don't go out to people that don't want them. So we're going to go ahead and make this our default group, and we're going to click Save. Now what you're going to do is you're going to bring over any unsubscribed members to any previous list that you had, and you want to start working with Sendgrid with that list in the unsubscribed groups. Now if you don't have any other lists that you're going to be bringing over, you're going to start with 0. But again, if you have anyone that you're going to be bringing over, you want to start by placing those individuals in this default list. And we're going to do that by going to this gear and then uploading a CSV file. Now that CSV file is going to have the format of having the email address in the leftmost column, then first name, then last name. So you want to have these 3 columns for your CSV. Now it's quite possible that when you bring your CSV over from another service, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to switch these columns around so that they fit this format. Once you have it in this format, you're going to save the format so you can upload it to Sendgrid. So you're going to come back to Sendgrid. You're going to click this gear. You're going to click Upload CSV. You're going to browse to your PC. And when you upload the file, it automatically imports into your unsubscribed group. Now obviously you can create additional groups for different purposes. However, we now have a default group, and we can now start working with the campaigns feature inside of Sendgrid. Welcome back. We're going to start the process by working with senders. And so we're going to come into this left side column. We're going to click the Senders button, and then that's going to bring you into this screen. You're then going to click the Create New Senders button. Now in general, when you add a sender address, you want to make sure that your email address is going to match your white label domains. So you're going to create this identity by starting with a name and email address in sync with the white label. Now if you choose not to do that, then what's going to happen is they're going to need to verify your email address through a separate process. But if you want to keep deliverability high, you generally want to have this name and this email address to match your white label. Now, the same thing is going to be true to your apply to email address. Now, in general, this email address does not have to match your from email address. However, your domain should match the one that you're using in your white label. You want to make sure to have your company address inside of this area. You do need to have that for your CAN Spam Act. Now you can give this sender profile a nickname, and this is only going to be for your reference. Your client is not going to see this when they get your email. And once you have your first identity in, you have a nickname for it, you're then going to click Save. You're going to notice that the email is not yet verified, so you do need to go through a verification process. You should then see in your email box an email from Sendgrid asking you to verify your sender identity. You're going to have a link you can click inside of your email. You can then come back and refresh your page. And when the verification process is complete, you'll have a green check mark here, and you're ready then to begin sending with Sendgrid. Welcome back. Now when you start to use Sendgrid as an autoresponder, you will have contacts being held inside of the system. And so if you click contacts, you'll notice that you're starting with 0 contacts. Now if you're bringing over someone from another autoresponder, you're going to need to add to your list of contacts. And you can do that by uploading a CSV file with those contacts. And what you're going to see at this top right hand corner here is a button that says Add Contacts. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this drop down arrow, and we're going to click Upload CSV File. You can just add the contacts. You can add them and include them in an existing list you already have on Sendgrid, or you can include them in a new list you're going to create on Sendgrid. So what you're going to do is you're going to click Select a File to Upload. We're then going to click the Custom Fields button. We're then going to identify the fields. Now in this case we have first names here, so what we're going to do is we're going to write in those first names. We're now going to identify the third column, which is the last name. And once we've done that and we have all the fields in blue, we can then click Next, Add Contacts. Then Sendgrid will tell you that they're processing your contacts. They will email you at your email address when the contacts are ready and then add it to your dashboard and system. You should then get an email from Sendgrid telling you that your contacts have been processed. You can view those contacts, but then you can just go back to Sendgrid and you can start working with your new list. And you should see now on your screen that your contacts have been added. Welcome back. We are now in the campaign screen. What we're going to do is go now to the campaigns link. And you're going to have a button here that says create a campaign. And you can either use a blank template or you can use one of the pre-existing Sendgrid templates. In this case, we're going to go ahead and start with a blank template. And then we're going to click continue. We can then go into the design editor, but if you know coding, you can use the HTML editor. In this case, we're going to go ahead and use the design editor, and we're going to click continue. Now we're going to fill in all of the campaign settings, including the campaign name, who the email is going to be from, the email subject, the pre-header, and then the categories. Now, if you want to assign your email to a specific category, you want to track what you're doing in specific ways, you can write one of these in. It's going to be internal to you. It will not be something that your client sees. We're then going to move to the recipients area. Now, if you already have segments set up, you can then use those segments. Otherwise, you can use specific lists. Now, if you hadn't done this already, you can come back to the contact list. You can then click this create segment, and you can give your segment a name. If you want to add in certain conditions, you can do that. And what this will allow you to do is this will allow you to look at your list and then only send to certain people with certain conditions. So what you'll see now is that we have a segment for these contacts that we can now use inside of our autoresponder. So if we go back and refresh the page, we should be able to come back to Sendgrid and we should be able to find that we can get recipients segmented by that particular list. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to go here where it says send to, and you'll see our segment there, tutorial videos. We're going to click that link. In this case, you can set an unsubscribe custom link so that the individual can unsubscribe from one list as opposed to unsubscribing from all of your lists. You can set that in this area. In this space, what you can do is you can set up a test email address so that you'll know whether or not your emails are actually making it. So if you want to write in a test address here, you can do that. And then you can set your scheduling. You can either send the email immediately or you can decide to send it later if you turn off immediately, and you can give it a specific schedule. In order to build the actual content, you can click build. You can drag in a text box, and then you can begin writing your email in this area. And of course, you can add in any of the other modules that you'd like to add. We can preview the email by clicking this button. Once we've done that, we can then go into the advanced area. Now, if you have HTML for a particular way that you want to send the email or you want it to be designed, you can import that HTML into your template. You can also add in any additional header information if you're doing a specific level of tracking. So once you have everything you're going to send, you can then click Save Draft. Your drafts will then be held in your campaign area, ready to be sent. Welcome back. Now, if you want to use one of Sendgrid's existing templates in order to send your email, you can do that. And if you go into the campaign setting and you click Create a Campaign, what you'll do is you will choose one of the existing templates. Now, the blank template is going to be the default. You're going to go over into the templates, and you can scroll through the templates to see which one you're actually going to use. Now, there are currently, as of the recording of this video, there are 12. So once you select one, you can then click on it, and then you'll click Continue. You're going to want to use the design editor, and then you'll be able to click Continue. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move over into the Build tab, and we're going to take a look at what we can change. Now, if we hover over any of the elements, we will see boxes that we'll be able to change. For example, if we click inside of this box, you're going to notice that there's a dialog that comes up on the left side that gives the module style. We can then click Edit the Image, and you'll notice that this is an image that we can change or that we can link out of. So we have some options with this image. We can go into the image library if we have already uploaded images, and we can replace that image with one that we prefer. So with the templates, we're going to alter the things that we see when we click inside of the area. In this case, you'll notice we can add in our social profiles. So basically what you're going to do with the template is you're going to click on the actual element. And then you're going to work with that element so that you'll have it looking the way you want it to. When you make a change that you feel as if you should stop and save, what you can do is scroll all the way back up to the top and click Save Draft. You find and feel that you don't like that design, you can go back and you can create a new campaign with a new document and template. And the templates are all going to work the same. You're going to go to the build area. You can add to this template by dragging and dropping an element, or you can edit the existing template. So you'll want to work with the templates in order to give it a look or a brand that you want, and then add the elements that will make your campaign successful in a marketing sense. Welcome back. In this era of privacy and GDPR, you want to make sure that no one has access to your account or that they can gain access to your account. And you can help that process by using two-factor authentication within Sendgrid. And if you come into your settings area and you look at the left side menu, you'll see that there's a link there for two-factor authentication. When you come to this screen, what you'll do is you'll click Add Two-Factor Authentication. Now, there are two options within Sendgrid. There's the Authy app as well as text messages or SMS. The Authy app is a paid application, so we're not going to look at that one right now. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the text message authentication, and then we're going to click Next. What you'll need to do is you'll want to put in your mobile device number and then click Next. Sendgrid will let you know that they have sent a code to your mobile device. It's going to be a 7-digit code, so you'll want to check your mobile device. You'll typically then get your security code on your mobile device, and then you'll want to enter that security code into Sendgrid. Now, what this means is that whenever you sign in to your Sendgrid account, you'll need both your password as well as a security code sent to your mobile device. And that is how you will set up two-factor authentication with Sendgrid. Welcome back. On your left-hand side menu, underneath the Settings button, you'll see that you actually have two lines. One will tell you how many emails you've sent, and the other is called your reputation. And actually, the reputation will affect how deliverable your emails will be in the future. And Sendgrid will say that the only thing that can bring down your reputation will be your bounced emails and spam reports. If you're using this for transactional email, there really should be no reason why you shouldn't have 100%. If you have less than 100%, you do want to investigate why that would be. One of the things that you can do to help if you have a case where someone may be doing a spam report is you can add unsubscribed links to the bottom of even your transactional emails, so that if we go into this tracking area, and the way that you get to the tracking area is that you are going to go to the settings, you're going to scroll down to the bottom, and you're going to click tracking. That's going to bring you to this page. Then what you're going to do is you're going to click this option. You're then going to edit, and you can verify that the language is sufficient. In most cases, the default language is going to be sufficient. You're then going to click OK. Then you're going to turn on your unsubscribed links. You'll also want to make sure that your click tracking is clicked on. This will allow you to track activity. If you're using transactional email, you'll have a login and password, and you'll have a link sometimes to the login, and you'll want to track if someone is clicking those links when they get to your email. You'll also want to have open tracking, and then this is going to track when emails are going to be open. You want to have those open. If they're not open by default, you want to make sure they're turned on. Now, one other option that you have is you have the ability to add Google Analytics inside of your email so that you can collect even more statistics. And if you want to turn this on, what you'll do is you'll click Edit. And then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to set up a connection with Google Analytics. However, again, this is going to be optional. It's not something that you're going to have to do. Once you're satisfied with your tracking options, you can close them up and you can move on to the next section. Welcome back. Now, when your sender reputation is less than 100, then you'll want to look through your suppressions, because this will probably have the answer to what may be causing the problems in your account. Now, in terms of global unsubscribes, group unsubscribes, and unsubscribe groups, those things are going to apply primarily to your marketing campaigns. So for now, we're not going to pay attention to those unless you're using Sendgrid for Marketing. Now, what you'll want to pay attention to, especially if you're using Sendgrid for transactional emails, are going to be bounces first. And this will give you an indication as to what may be happening with specific individuals that are getting emails from you for transactions. You'll be given the exact time, so you can go back and research the transaction. You'll be given the exact reason. In some cases, it may be worth following up with the individual so that you can make sure that they get your email or the transactional email in the future. And if you have a problem and people are not getting your transactional email for a particular product, you'll be able to, again, find out from this bounce report. We can also look at spam reports. Again, spam reports in the same way, these are going to be things that individuals have stated that your transactional email is spam. So in some cases, you may be able to follow up with these individuals. In other cases, it may not be a good idea. But again, you'll know if you have a large number of individuals in this spam report for a particular product, for a particular reason, this is something that if you have a problem in your transaction system that you can fix. So again, spam reports will tell you specific individuals you may need to fix. And again, that's going to be triggered by your reputation telling you that it's less than 100. In some cases, depending on how your email is sent, your email may be blocked by a particular server. And so what you're going to need to do is you may need to make sure to whitelist your own email and your own domain. Again, you're going to want to make sure you understand the reason when the email is sent. And in a number of cases, this will actually show up as your email or emails that you're using. You can fix this in your mail settings and by going to the address whitelist and making sure your domains are fixed in this mail settings area. In some cases, you may have a situation where individuals have placed the wrong email inside of a contact form. They're then getting an invalid email. So this may be a group of people that you're going to be following up with. So now by going through the suppressions area, you'll be able to note when and why your email may or may not be deliverable routinely. And again, the trigger point for this is that your reputation is less than 100%. Welcome back. Now in this video, we want to take a look at how we would do research on specific emails. And what you'd do is you'd go to this Activity tab. Now in the Activity tab, you have 3 days worth of information. So in other words, you're going to retrieve information about any email that you've sent over the past 3 days. Now, if you need more information than that, you can purchase up to 30 days of history. But you'd be using this in the most extreme cases. So if you have a situation where one of the emails is showing up in your suppressions list and you want to find out more about that email, you can come to this area and you can search that email. You'll be able to look at all of the information about this email, and you'll be given enough information to start investigating as to what happened. So the activity feed is a place where you'll search over the last 3 days to find out what has happened with your email and where and why it's not being delivered. Welcome back. In conclusion, if your goal is to use Sendgrid in order to track activity with your transactional email, you have a statistical area, and this will give you all the information you need as to what's happening with those emails. On the overview page, you'll be given an indication of the 2 factors influence your deliverability as well as your reputation score, which are the bounces and the spam reports. There is other information available, such as the geographic location of the emails that you are delivering, how they're accessing your email in terms of webmail or their desktop or some other way of generating email, as well as the actual mailbox provider. You can see that here between Gmail and Outlook Live. You can look at specific browsers and compare their results. Now again, you will probably not be using this activity for transactional email unless there is a problem. And if there is, you have a handy guide to do further investigation. Now if you're using Sendgrid for your marketing emails, one thing that you'll want to note is that by going back into this section and going to the overview, you're going to notice then that there are no statistics where there were statistics in the main area. And that's mainly because Sendgrid keeps these statistics for your marketing emails separate from those you're delivering for transactions. And now that you have a handle on how Sendgrid works, you're now ready to connect to any third-party application through the API.